Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers.
Yes, I have a story. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, said yesterday that it was working with relevant security agencies to minimize the scourge of insecurity in the country through the elimination of illegal SIM cards. The collaboration of the agency, they said, is vital security agencies, with vital security agencies, is because they want to tackle the rampaging incidents of kidnapping, banditry, and terrorism. The executive vice chairman of the NCC, Dr. Aminu Maida, was the one who told media executives in Abuja, and he said his vision was to put smiles on the faces of telecom consumers in Nigeria by making sure that they provide quality services, being offered by their service providers, as well as also increase investment and allied services in the country. And he says that to be able to reach that point, there must be transparency and accountability around billing systems and tariffs. And that's why they are working hard to simplify the tariffs and billing, knowing that the telecom services have become very critical to the lives and well-being of Nigerians, and they are doing their best to make sure it works. I also know that they've been sending, the telecom companies have been sending messages so that we can have our NIN linked, and some offices are already receiving people who are linking their NIN. If you have not been able to do that, you may be cut off very soon from your network.
Okay. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Forex crisis, CBN blames foreign students' medical tourism. Cost of living, fresh palliatives coming, says federal government. FGAPC link protests in Niger and Kano to opposition. Few queues return in Lagos. Apprehension as hundreds of gunmen surround Niger communities. Kogi tackles EFCC over probe of ex-governor Yahaya Bello. I'm assuming you took that story. I was going to take it. I said, that's my story. Food crisis, protesting in APC, politicizing hardship, says PDP. Okay, let's start with your friend Yahaya Bello.
So the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State, Kingsley Fanwo, on behalf of the state government in Kogi State, have decided to respond to the EFCC charging previously, former governor, immediate past governor, English, of Kogi State. So they say that the EFCC they're being over desperate in attaching the governor to a charge they earlier brought before the Honorable Justice J.K. Omotosho of the Federal High Court, in which one Bello, Ali Bello, and Dauda Suleiman were already charged. EFCC amended the charge to include His Excellency Yahaya Bello, and they described this as desperate. They said that the EFCC also saying that the former governor is at large, is ridiculous, laughable, and portrays the agency as infested with persons whose intents disagree with the noble intention of the president to fight corruption. They said that the details of the charge included that the governor sort of took some money from the coffers of Kogi State. They are insisting that he couldn't, because he had not resumed office as of September 2015, that they are alleging. At that time, Captain Idris Wada of PDP was governor of Kogi State at the material time that they are charging the former governor for. And so they think that the EFCC is being overzealous here. But I'd like to say this to the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State: let the former governor and his lawyer, I want to remove my people from work, put up his defense. This matter has been on and on, but once you have an acquittal in court, it rests the issue completely. You keep playing part and face your work.
Okay. Daily Sun, any other person? Another story?
Yes, I have a story in Sun. Scary story. They said in what looks like, the Sun is reporting that in what looks like a declaration of war against the people, gunmen said to be numbering over 600 on motorcycles have surrounded some communities across 3 local government areas in Niger State. They said it has caused so much apprehension that, of course, the villagers are fleeing, the village for their safety. The affected communities are Ngunu and Pai in Manya local government, Pandogari in Rafi and Alawa, Shiruru local government area of the state. They said that the government said to be numbering over 600, riding about 300 motorcycles, have laid siege on the communities since Monday night. One of the sources even claims that some of the gunmen went away with about 40 villagers from Ngunu and Pai, including women and children, on Monday night, even as they maintained siege on the communities. Other sources are also saying that the gunmen, their mission really is to avenge the killing of their leader, Ali Kachala, and 38 others a month ago. They had, come to dislodge the Joint Security Task Force that was stationed in Mongoro village, and that the leader and the 38 others met their Waterloo when they launched a deadly attack on the camp of the Joint Security Task Force with the aim of dislodging them. From the way it's reported, it's like an ongoing thing that right now these communities are surrounded by this government, looking for a way, to attack people in revenge for their leader being killed.
Hey.
I'd like to hear from government to see, what we're doing to counteract this immediately.
I have a sad story here. It said 3 persons lost their lives while 3 others were injured in an accident that involved a trailer loaded with cattle at the Gada-Biu flyover bridge in Jos, a not local government area of Plateau State. It said the trailer was conveying cattle from far northern states heading to the southern part of Nigeria. And they said they had suspected the vehicle lost control at the overhead bridge and landed down around 2 a.m. with about 30 cows dead. Said some vigilantes in the area, Mr. Arinze and Combs Yunana, were the first people to come to rescue the survivors of the trailer accident, and they had taken those ones who were injured to Bigam Specialist Hospital for treatment. The accident, they said, happened around 2 a.m. While they rushed to the spot, they discovered that the trailers were carrying cows with people as well. And so they had to call the police at Gada-Biu police station to support. By the time they got there, 3 lifeless bodies, 3 people were injured. 1 had broken his leg and rushed to the hospital. But they really do not have all the details from where they were headed to where they were going to. And they said by the time they get the details and also the people involved, they will publicize.
Right, this is an interesting story I saw here at the Sun. The Day Trade Union Congress and the Food, Beverages and Tobacco Senior Staff Association held a peaceful protest in front of NAFDAC. You have that story?
Yes, go ahead.
So
you have the story
so
go ahead.
The protest took place in front of NAFDAC's office. So what happened was that the government had stopped and banned the sachets, the alcoholic sachets, saying that because it was blocking drainages and all the gutters, and saying that if you ban these, the production, the manufacturing of these things, you're going to be laying off thousands of workers. And this economic hardship right now cannot retain that kind of pressure. It's already stretched, having to lay off these amounts of workforce. So TUC was insisting that some of the people earn their livelihood and feed their family through these factories, and it was wrong for because Lagos State has given a directive for them to shut down, for them to put these people back on the street, on the job market. And it totally, so the vice president said that many companies, yes, but they're now saying that they're bringing it out to Lagos. And they're saying that you want to lay off thousands of workers into the labor market that is already overstretched. What do you expect them to feed on? So he's saying that you can't say that these alcoholic sachets are the sole contributors to the blockages we're looking for. They're not saying that.
Part of it. And now they've been having a meeting for over a year, and they made them a promise that they were going to stop producing those sachets by the
2018 actually.
Yes, by the end of, they gave them till 2023, December 2023, and they still continued. So they had enough time to change the modality. Nobody said do not produce anymore, but you can change the sachets. You can make them into plastics that are biodegradable. Abiyanti?
Exactly.
Yeah. But they didn't do that.
They didn't do that.
But TUC is now saying labor
we
is
need
in
to
their
pick a hustle. We can't be going forward and coming back.
To jump on the wagon of our health and our planet.
True.
You know,
you guys
if they understand that, and when they sit at the table, they understand they are meant to be part of the
environmental people.
Sadly, the Food and Beverages Association and Tobacco Senior Staff Association were part of this protest. And they should be the ones suggesting healthier alternatives to
Okay, Vanguard, our final paper, protest. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, that's a major headline here. Okay, that's fine. Stabilizing Naira task for all Nigerians, says Cardoso. Petrol queues emerge in Lagos and environs. Insecurity, Tinubu orders security agencies to curb criminal activities. Kogi tackles EFCC over 80 billion naira fraud charges against ex-Governor Bello. Labour protest at NAFDAC over ban on alcoholic beverages in sachets. Edo Guba respect zoning principle, Obaseki Oshomole told. And kidnapping, police nab suspected octogenarian kingpin over Ikitikwara killings. What?
I have petrol queues yesterday emerged in Lagos and environs as many motorists and other users make frantic efforts to buy products. I saw the queues myself. Of course, a lot of people say they first noticed it on Monday. Anyway, Ipman is saying the national president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, Abubakar Meiganda, says that his members have not been able to lift products for days, and it has to do with he says, but we don't have any supply issues. So the elections, the local elections that happened over the weekend affected the distribution of some of the products during that time. So they were unable to get to some places. So that's why we have these shortages. But this is something we have on ground. And now that, it's the new week, we would see this product. So there's no scarcity, there's no shortage. It was just a distribution issue as a result of the elections that happened over the weekend.
Another story before we wrap up? Okay, all right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.